Welcome to another tech video. Today we are going to be reusing some old bits and pieces that we had lying around, reclaimed from old systems. This case here was actually my dad's, so I've inherited it from him, and it's going to be put to good use today. So let's just have a quick walk through what we've got. So we're going to be building it with this processor here. This is an Intel i5, it's an 8500, so it's an 8th generation Core i5 processor. Cooling it, we're just going to be using a stock Intel cooler fan. Put that over there, so which we've bought, and we'll run through what we bought in a sec. We're going to be using a reclaimed integral V-Series 480 gig SSD drive, and this graphics card came out from a Dell XPS system, which was I think it was a second generation machine. So not sure if this is going to be better than standard graphics controller on the main board with an Intel 5 processor. So we may or may not use that, not entirely sure at the moment, but that was a freebie. Then we've got two 4 gig sticks of memory, so we can add it into the build in dual channel mode. And then we've got a Gigabyte H310M S2H motherboard from Gigabyte, and we've got I've not heard of this brand before, but it's called Fierce PC. It's a 450 watt power supply. Yep, 450 watt ATX power supply, so that should fit nicely in it as well. Okay, so let's just run down what we've spent so far. So just reading from the sheet, which is my printout from eBay. All the parts that I bought came from eBay. So we've got the 8 gig kit of memory. There's DDR4 2400, which runs at 19200 megahertz. And that's Samsung RAM, so should be quite good. $14.99. Then we've got our Intel stock cooler, which was $4.99. And then we've got our motherboard, which was £34.81p. And then our power supply, which was $19.99. So that all comes to £72.78, including VAT. So I guess reclaimed SSD drive that's been in a previous system. It's only seen a month of use, so I don't know what price you put on that really, but I would probably say about 20 quid. The processor, 8th gen Core i5, not sure what the prices of those are, but it's not likely to be free on eBay. I would probably suspect that it's around about the £60 mark, so I think probably we can put the whole bill together for about 200 quid. The case obviously was donated, so without further ado, let's get building. Okay, so the first item that we're going to do is we're going to get the main board all ready. Let's have a look, see what we're getting there. Okay, documentation, SATA cable. Okay, case plate, and then the main board. So this is quite a small motherboard, but it should be okay once it's in the case. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the CPU in. Okay. Take the little cap out. There we go. Okay, and our little arrow mark. Looks like it's, there should be some little cutouts at the top too, which there are. So it'll only go in, should only go in one way. Okay. Alright, so that's the CPU in. going to get the RAM ready. So 2 sticks of DDR4 memory. Nothing fancy because this is marked for resale. This is going to go to a good home, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is have a look at our stock cooler. Now you're probably wondering why we didn't go for anything beefier, but this is just a resale item, and in our experience these stock coolers work just fine with this CPU. Doesn't need any really high capacity cooling on it. And we've got our thermal paste under there. I'm just going to take one more little blob and add that in addition to what's already on there, just to give it a little bit more. Okay, so we want the cooler to be around the right way for aesthetics purposes. And where is our CPU fan? Is at the top, right. Okay, so that can go around there like that and up there. Okay. That should just plug into place. Like that. Okay, and then we'll take our CPU cable. That can go up here. And that's it in terms of the motherboard assembly. Right, so let's put that to one side for a minute, and then we're going to get our case. Right, so what have we had to do on here? Okay, so all we've done is we've moved one of the standoffs that was down here up to this position. All the other standoffs we haven't had to change. They all should be in the correct position. And now we want to take our backing plate, and we want to make sure that that goes in the correct way. And now we can take our main board and get that positioned in the right place. Not a huge amount of USB connectivity on this, but should be sufficient. One of the nice things about these size main boards in a case like this is you get plenty of room to work in. So what I'm doing at the moment is just getting the screws in. I'm not tightening them all the way down just yet, because we want to make sure it's positioned absolutely spot on. Okay, so that's the main board installed. Next thing we're going to do is get the power supply in, and there's plenty of room up the top to cable manage this. Oh, we've got some little cable ties as well, which is useful. So this is the power supply. And that fits in there like that, nice and snug. Okay, so that is our power supply fitted. Nice. So our main connector goes straight in there. And then we need an 8-pin CPU power. And that is a 8-pin / 6-pin for our GPU. So that's for PCIe. This one is for the main board, because this is 4+4. So that cable lock can go under there. That goes in like like that. Run that out the way. Okay, so that is the power to the main board. Alright, so we've got the drive mounted in a cage. So this cage is just a 2.5 to 3.5 inch bay bracket from Sabrent. So we'll leave a link in the description for those. Really useful, and we use a lot of them. Okay, so now we're going to get this into here. Now the way this attaches, it's got just this little clip, so that just pushes down. You line up the holes, and then you lock it into place. Not the most sturdy, so we will put a couple of screws around the back. So 2 screws on the back side, and easy release on the front side, just holding that in place. It's nice and steady. Alright, so that is for our PCIe. So the next lot of cables we've got, is that going to reach? No, it's not. Maybe I should have put it at the top and then could have done it all but on one. No, so we'll do it like this. That's our power. Alright, so I got a bit carried away with the cable management. So it's done down the bottom. Let's have a look. It's not ideal in this case, but we've got it all channeled along in one place. We've got our SSD drive mounted in the drive cage. Cables are running around the back, and we've got our SATA cable to port 0, and then our DVD writer into SATA port 3. And then all we've done is just hide up or crunch up as many of the cables as we can just to sit in that space, so it's still nice and empty. And then on the back, we're just going to trail these over. The case cover should go on as long as we have these flat against here. It shouldn't rub because we've got these standoffs here, so we should be okay in terms of that. So let's try and get that back panel on, and then we'll explain about the graphics card as well. You can see on the back of the device we've got all of these gaps here, so I've ordered a load of the blanking plates just to fill that in. I'm not going to be putting any case fans in it. We're just going to be using the stock and the graphics card. So let's have a look at that. So the graphics card meant that it was going to sit inside this cage, and it wasn't right, didn't fit properly. So we're actually going to just leave this out, and we're going to use this in a future build. We could have just sort of chopped this off here, however, not really the right thing to be doing. So we're going to keep it like it is. Brilliant. So we've got a post screen. Okay, so let's go in and see what we've got. Okay, so our memory 2.4 or 2400 megahertz system, that's what we want. Okay, so we're on FP, we don't need to update the BIOS. So save and exit setup. Yes. There we go. So we want the boot menu, which is F12. And we want to boot off our USB drive. And then we can load Windows 10. Once Windows 10 is loaded, we'll just have a quick whiz around the system. Right, so we've got the system fully booted up with Windows 10 Home. It's all licensed, so we bought a product key for this. This was $9.99 for Windows 10 Home. And let's just go through and have a look at the configuration. So you can see here it's a Core i5 8500 running at 3 gigahertz, 8 gig of RAM running in dual channel mode, so that's 2 4 gig sticks in dual channel setup. And then Windows 10 Home, and it's fully patched up to 20H2. It's not the latest version of Windows, but it's we've run all the Windows updates, and that's the latest version that it's come out with. There's no more updates to run at the moment. So let's go in and have a look at our device manager, just to make sure. So we haven't had to install any drivers from the Gigabyte website for this at all, and you can see that our firmware is all okay. Where's our disk drives? Disk drives, so we should have the one V series 480 gig disk in there. Display adapters is using the onboard display, so it's the Intel UHD Graphics 630 Full HD, and it has a gigabit adapter. It doesn't come with Bluetooth, obviously, and security device trusted platform module 2, so it does come with a TPM in actual fact. On the board there's a TPM slot, but it actually comes with its own TPM chip for, I guess, future updates. So this comes with the trusted platform module 2, so that means that it should quite happily install and run Windows 11 without any trouble at all. And then our sound device all set up, ready to go. Our storage controllers all ready to go, and then we've got our USB 3.1 host controller, which is good. So it's basically USB 3. All the ports are on the back, so we've got two USB 3 ports with power delivery, two USB 3 ports, and we've got another two USB 3 ports. So in all, it's got two pairs of USB 3 without power delivery and one pair of USB 3 with power delivery. So now we've finished this, it's just a matter of giving it a clean up, and then we'll get this on Facebook Marketplace. If some gamer wants to add a decent graphics card, then we can recommend a variety of different ones, but the NVIDIA GTX cards will go in here quite happily. Something like a 1650 or 1080 Ti be perfect for this machine. So if you found that video useful, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just want to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.